Well, welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. It's very nice to see you here. Thank you for stopping by. I have got something new from Fox Knives on the table. This is the Fox Knives Bullet. It is designed by Gudy Van Poppel, a designer who I like quite a bit. I have a couple of other of his knives. The first is the Eastwood Tiger. This is also a Fox Knives creation. Right? And then the Wee Ferox. This was supposed to have a really awful, like yellow anodization on it, but I stripped that off because it looks better this way. However, my taste proclivities aside, I really like Gudy Van Poppel's designs. These are fantastic knives. They are never inexpensive, but boy are they good. And these are all versions of his custom stuff. This one in particular, this is number 123 of only 300, and as far as I know, they never made another batch. So I'm going to hang on to that. I got this at Blade Show Atlanta a few years ago, right from the Fox Knives table. This is just a beautiful beast of a knife, S90V. This is a great cutting tool. And there's something about his design in the handle really works for me and my hand. So recently I was poking around on Tools for Gents, which is a European knife company, and stumbled across this. And I said, wow, that looks really cool. Something about it caught my eye. And so I dug in a little bit and discovered that it is in fact a Van Poppel design. This one happens to be in MagnaCut. It is all titanium. It is a frame lock, as you can see. It's got a nice steel lock bar insert. We're locked up at about 25%. It's just a really nice knife. It is very pokey, right? It's got a lot of belly. It has what are supposed to look like shell casing, like the end of a shell casing on both sides. This one says 4475. And then it's got, I think, his logo on it. This side is plain. It acts as a over travel stop, which is interesting because there is also an over travel stop attached to the lock bar insert. They really didn't want you to over travel that lock bar. This is just, I love this thing. It's kind of a surprise. Like, I didn't know it was out there. Sometimes you just got to poke around on various websites to actually see what is out and what is available. I have, there it is. This is about $365, which is not inexpensive, but none of these were. I think this was $360 or $350 or $360, and this was 6 or 8 years ago, right? But look, Goody's got to make his money, right? I'm not going to argue. Yeah. It's running on washers, which is an interesting choice. You know, it says that, but I could swear those are bearings. You know what? The website says washers, but I'm looking in there, and those are bearings. So it's running on bearings, which is nice. Probably steel bearings. You know, when a website is not English, Goody's not English either, but I'm guessing that at some point somebody wrote the write-up for this knife, and then it was translated poorly. Anyway, that's on bearings. That's just nice, isn't it? Let's take a look at what you get for your $362. You get 3.5 inches of cutting on 3 3/4 inches of MagnaCut steel. You get basically 3 3/4 inches of grip inside that handle. That's really nice. This is all chamfered down, so you can get your finger up here if you needed to work forward a little bit, but you're going to want to be careful because that's a stabby point. It's got a very simple pivot. The design itself is not complicated. The pocket clip is interesting. It would be deep carry, except it is really thick up here at this end, and I'm not sure why. I think they wanted it to be a level carry. Let me see if I can find something. Yeah. So, you know, that's level, right? Like that. So instead of cutting the titanium up along the axis, the angle of the screws, they just left it thick so that the knife would hang kind of straight up and down, which makes sense from an ergonomics perspective, but looks a little strange. The tie scales are milled in sort of a spreading wave pattern. It is really, really nice. It's very comfortable to hold. I love the very pointy tip, right? It is really stabby where you might want it to be, but because of all this belly, you can absolutely work on a table with this if you needed to. I think you can see, you know, interestingly enough, I think the most obvious place for Gudy Van Poppel's designs are in the way that he does his overall blade shape, right? They have a kind of a consistency where the flats are, right? But also the shape of the flipper. Now, they don't all go the same direction, right? This one goes in, this one comes out, but there's almost a shark fin look to them, and that's consistent across all three of these knives. All three of them share similar DNA in that they are a thick slice of whatever their particular blade steel is. Although on the bullet here, look how chamfered this is. Everything is rounded. Everything is beautiful. I love stuff like this, right? There are knives that I hunt, knives that I, seek, but every once in a while, right, you get in on a knife that you just kind of stumble across, and it turns out to be fantastic. And this is one of those. I'll put a link for Tools for Gents in the description. I have no association with them, but if you like big stuff, you might want to check this out. All right. Overall knife from tip to tail is coming in at 8 3/4 inches. It's a big knife. Close profile is, well, you're going to know it's there, right? So we're talking about 1 3/4 inches. I'll move that up to where you can see it. 1 3/4 inches. It is definitively a knife in the pocket, but they're all kind of like that. That's sort of his thing, and I'm 100% on board with it, right? I mean, not everything can be like a bug out, right? And I'd rather it wasn't. Let's do some size comparison since I've had the bug out. Sorry about that. We'll line it up on that line. We'll bring the bug out, back out. As you can see, right? That is just ridiculous. There it is against a full-size PM2. They're not enormously different. There's 1/2 inch difference in overall length, but man, you get a lot more cutting up here on the bullet. What else do we have on the table that's interesting? Oh, here's one I have not had a chance to review yet, but this is the Kinceris from Wii. These are very similar. Keep an eye out for this. This is a really nice knife. It's stuff like this that keeps me in knife collecting. It is. I mean, sure, there are things that I chase and that I get. Like the Pariah here from Heretic. This thing is just a monster, right? I've wanted one of these for a long time. I wanted a manual version. There's a lot of wants that involve me chasing this down. But I got to tell you, once I got it, it's okay. I mean, it's really nice, but for me, it's one of those things where, like, I really wanted it, and then I got a hold of it, and I was like, it's cool. Whereas this, I didn't even know it existed. And then I saw it and said, well, yeah, let's give that a try. Look at the backspacer on that. It's half-length backspacer, right? It's got some really soft jimping milled into it. It's got a lanyard spot on the back. This thing was just a surprise, and an excellent one at that. see how much of that Magna Cut they give you. 4 millimeters of Magna Cut. It kind of fools you because it's crowned, right? Very soft. It's really nice. But yeah, no, there's 4 millimeters of Magna Cut there. This has almost instantly become one of, I mean, you guys know I have hundreds of pocket knives. This thing showed up in the mail about 3 weeks ago, and I have to struggle not to put it in my pocket so that I can carry other stuff, so that I can do reviews. I really like it, and I've had to use it a few times. It's been to the garden with me. It's been to work with me. It's been a lot of places, and it's done everything I have wanted it to do, and showed no wear. The edge has remained really sharp. She isn't light. There is no milling on this thing. Where did Magic Scale go? There it is. Yeah, it's 6.7 ounces. I mean, but to be fair, 6.2, 6.3, 6.8. Gudy Van Poppel does not design light knives. And I am 100% okay with that. If you like the bigger hinderers, you will really like this thing. I know I do. Anyway, that's about it. This is the Bullet from Fox Knives, designed by Gudy Van Poppel. It is an excellent cutting tool in a really nice design. It is not sort of like this or sort of like that. It is very much its own thing, and I am down with that. The blade shape alone makes this thing really special and cool. Again, I'll put a link in the description where you can chase one down if you are so inclined. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you've enjoyed this look at it. I know I'm enjoying owning it. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. We'll see you next time.